Hello everyone, Brachiosaurus227 here. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 3 of the Nerf Archives. Today we're going to be looking at a Busby Blaster, which originally was going to be the Jaguar, which one of you requested. However, I am sad to report that I do not own a Jaguar. I legit thought I did, and I could not find it in my massive collection, so I decided to go for the next best thing, and arguably something even better. And that is the Busby Cougar, a blaster that, in an era where Busby was doing everything wrong, this did everything right. Cue the intro. The Busby Cougar released back in 2011, right before I believe Elite was starting up. And this was a really cool blaster for its time, because this was basically competing with all the other in-strike stuff at the time, and then all of the old Busby stuff. And honestly, it's a really good blaster for what it is, even today. And sure, the performance may not live up to today's standards, I can guarantee that. It still has quite a few things to offer, and a really compelling blaster from the older Busby era. There are a few variants, I think. There's just like a couple different color variations, and then there's, of course, the newer, updated Air Warriors version, which I really want to get because apparently it has a much better performance. And trust me, this blaster definitely has some really cool aspects to it. I think the biggest thing that stands out is just the overall design. The blue is so simple, and it contrasts perfectly with the black and the orange. It's a beautiful, simple design, but you look closer and there's actually some really good details on it. It's not like completely designless, especially right here on the priming handle. You can see there's like this little threading, or I don't know, threading, but like detailing on the side, and it works really well. It also has some of the best ergonomics of any Busby blaster from the older era, and pretty much any Busby blaster ever. This grip is absolutely amazing. It is absolutely astounding. I never thought I would see a grip this good from like old Busby. This is a good example of what you want a grip to be. It's really good for like small hands or big hands alike. It has really nice finger trails. It's just a really well designed grip, and it works really well. The trigger itself is really good. Busby triggers usually don't miss. They usually have pretty good triggers. But what makes it unique? Because it does have a little bit of uniqueness. Well, the main thing is it's clip fed. Now that's not necessarily ununique for Busby at the time. It was actually pretty common, but a 10-round clip, you didn't see that often. Unless it was some of the other types of blasters, like they had the motorized, I think it was Tech or Mech 20 or Tech 20 or something like that. It was like a clip-fed motorized blaster, a really cool blaster at that. But there wasn't that many good clip blasters at the time, and this was definitely one of the better ones. But what makes it unique is the fact that this stock, which is not actually really a good functional stock, like there's no way you could shoulder this. There's like no possible way. However, it is actually a priming handle that you use to, prime and fire the blaster. And I originally thought it wasn't compatible with standard darts, but unlike a lot of Busby blasters from this era, it actually is. Usually you have to modify it to do that. And it shoots them pretty well. Like, I haven't seen too many issues. I mean, obviously it has the performance that's, of the day, which is not that good, 25-30 feet. But it shoots a lot more consistently than a lot of old Busby blasters. And I just think this is one of the better older Busby blasters. Like, this is obviously classic. A lot of people remember this. And it does remind me of that era where Busby was doing a lot of cool stuff. But beside it being a cool piece of Busby history, what does it have to offer the hobby today? Well, actually, a little bit. You do have quite a bit of mod potential. However, I would think it would be better just to get the newer version. However, the mod potential on this is really good. You could obviously modify the clip by maybe taking out the post and brassing the barrels. If you do take out the post, I would recommend brassing the barrels, otherwise the darts are just going to fall off. But once you do that, you can actually get this thing to shoot short darts, or even standard darts, but you can get like a little mini powerhouse out of this. And for being a nice, comfortable, compact blaster that with a really good prime, I really don't see the problem with that. Even though at its stock performance it's pretty bad, you can definitely modify it, and it's definitely a cool blaster to have if you want it. I would probably end up giving it the decent rating though, because stock it is terrible. If you get the newer one, I'd probably say great, but like there's not a ton you could do practically unless you mod it, and there's a lot of other options out there. I specifically like how the priming works. It's just really nice and solid and works really well. You don't have to worry about placing the clip right. You just kind of stick it in there and you're ready to go, which is really cool. I really like how easy it is. It's almost friction fit in there. You have to yank it pretty hard to go out, but stick it in there and prime and you're ready to go. I forgot how fun plunger heads were. That's just fun. Oops. Quick little side tangent I really want to go on real quick, and it is basically answering the question, why were a lot of Busby blasters not really popular from back in the day? I mean, we have ones like the Tommy 20 and Tech 5, or Tech 6 I mean, but those are like popular. A lot of people know about those, but no one ever talks about the stuff like the Cougar, or that one flywheel pistol that was like internal mag fed that Busby made. No one talks about that stuff. Why is that? Well, the reason is, and this is a little piece of Nerf history for you guys, basically, those blasters released in the early 2010s when Elite was releasing, just like the Cougar. And those blasters weren't really as popular because Elite excelled everything. Back in the day, yeah, Busby was a direct competitor to N-Strike, so they were a good option. But when Elite released, for a long time, Busby was not a good option until they upped their game and did the Air Warrior series with more improved blasters like the Sentinel, Champion, and Brute. So that's just a little brief piece of history for you as to why a lot of Busby blasters that released in the early 2010s aren't really talked about as much as blasters like the Tommy 20 and Tech 6. Just a little side tangent I thought I'd go on. Unfortunately, I forgot to record the outro for this episode, but thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see y'all in the next one. The next one will be a very special guest appearance, and one of the biggest we've had yet. I can't wait for y'all to see him. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
My junk drawer, my junk drawer. So many things I don't know what they're for, but I won't let it go. No, I will add more useless little things to my junk drawer.